so that I don't hear myself in echo. Da, da, da. I was gonna say YouTube is being slow here for me today, so let's do this.
Take your
I've
time.
noticed it's recording, but I noticed recently that it's weird because when it says it's not. So like it gives me this error message, but then all of a sudden, like if I search book creator on YouTube, then it pops up. So it's weird. So, all right, we are live on YouTube. So Catherine, I am going to make you the host. You are now officially the host, and I am going to drop off and I'm going to let everybody here do their wonderful thing. And when you're done, yeah, just close everything down and we should be all set. I will stick by my computer just in case something random happens and this doesn't work. If it does,
Perfect.
it will all just join back up again. All right. But
All right.
I think we're all good because I am no longer important on this call. So I'm going to turn off everything and see what happens. Good luck, and
Thanks,
you're all
John.
going to do great.
Appreciate it.
All
Bye,
right.
John.
See you, bye.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. Hi, everyone, and welcome. We are here with the new Caney ISD team and their wonderful pink blazers. They're looking so cute today. And we have an international crowd in the chat. If you do have any questions today, please throw them in the chat. We are going to be having two different times where we'll do some Q&A with the team. So feel free to just throw those in the chat. I'll be managing that chat today. But I want to introduce ourselves first. So first off, my name is Catherine Cappiello, and I am one of the teacher success managers here at Book Creator. I'm located in Chicago, and I've been with the Book Creator team for over 4 years now. Before Book Creator, I was in the classroom for about 9 years. I still consider myself an educator, and I educate teachers all over how to really integrate Book Creator into their curriculum. But most importantly, we want to know who the new Caney team is. So if you want to go around and introduce yourselves, we'd love to hear who is in the room.
Hello, I'm going to get started. My name is Lasagna Cobbs. I'm the Director of Digital Learning, and the rest of my team is going to introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Krista Kaiser. I'm the Digital Learning Coordinator for Caney ISD. I'm Kim Munoz, and I'm a Digital Learning Specialist.
And Sharissa Scott, Digital Learning Specialist.
Awesome. Thanks so much for joining, everyone. And hi to everyone in the chat. Thanks for saying hi and where you're from as well. We love to hear where everyone is who's joining us today as well. We're going to go ahead and get started with the new Caney ISD team. What they're going to be doing today is they're first going to share how much they've been using Book Creator because we want to celebrate that in their district. And then they're going to dive into giving us their top 10 hits, the top 10 things that they love most about Book Creator. Okay. So do you have access to click around on this? Yes, you do, right? Even though I'm host, can you still click around on the screen? Yeah, perfect. Okay. So if you want to dive in to share with us how much you've been using Book Creator with New Caney ISD, we'd love to hear that first.
So we've actually been using Book Creator a lot in the Caney ISD. It happens to be one of our core programs. We've had the program for 4 years. We started during COVID. It was a need that we had for teachers to be able to create books and for the students during the online lessons. And so we looked around and Book Creator met all of our needs. We have over 19,000 users. That's students, staff members, and teachers, because we do have departments that are utilizing Book Creator to share out information to people in different departments, and our team is going to cover that a little bit later. And in our district, there have been over 170,000 books created. So we're very proud of all of the usage and everything that everyone in our district is doing. So to get us started, we're just gonna cover our top 10 hits because we're in our book creator era. So we're gonna show some ways that our district is utilizing book creator, professional development, how our kids are creating, how our multilingual department is using it, some portfolios, lesson resources, accessibility that's available in Book Creator, how we're using it for test prep, graphic organizers, the remix feature, and then the last part is show it off. My team is amazing, and they work directly with the students and staff members on training and integrating Book Creator into their lessons. So Kim is going to get started and show you some examples of what we've been doing.
Hi, everybody. So the first thing we want to show you is how we use Book Creator for professional development. And we kind of use it to model what we want teachers to do with their kids or what we want the kids to do in their classroom. So we have a few examples here. One way we used it is with a book study. So in this case, we used it with our support team. And in the book study, they were able to collect all of the information from all year in one place so they could refer back to it. And then throughout the year and each month that they met, they could collaborate with each other. And as they're reading the book and going through the book, just kind of reviewing what they learned and sharing what they learned and the knowledge that they had from that book. So that's one way we've used it in professional development. We've also used it as like an icebreaker. So here's 2 truths and a lie that we've used with our media specialists, where everybody gets their own page and they tell the 2 truths and a lie, and then everybody has to guess. So just a little bit of a spin on a classic there. We also have an RLA strategies notebook that was created by our secondary RLA specialist. Each month, she sends out a newsletter with a strategy and maybe a tech tip or a writing strategy that they can use. And so she collects them here for the teachers to refer back to. Also, it's like a modeling piece for the teachers and how they can use it with their students. We also have a PLC guidebook that teachers can refer back to. So we love to use it in professional development and model how it looks. Other departments outside of our instruction team have started to use it as well. So like our PEMS department has a handbook that they use it for, and everybody's trying to get in on the action. Like, do we have an account? Do we have an account? We're like, yes, accounts for everybody. You can have one and make your resources model for everybody. So that's just a few ways we use it for professional development. Okay.
That's awesome. I have a quick question real quick. With when you're using it with PD, do you see teachers kind of do you see some benefits when do you see them kind of jumping in and the usage kind of going up when they're using it during PD? Do you see that they're feeling more confident with using Book Creator when you're using it during your PD sessions?
Absolutely. Like the more they get in there and get their hands on the tool, the more likely they are to use it in class. And then to refer back to the information later, like maybe it was a quick training and you forgot what was going on, to be able to go back and refer to it and look at a product maybe that you made just furthers the learning and makes it more solidified to them.
That's awesome. I love your examples.
Okay, our next hit is kids as creators, which this is the ultimate goal for us with Book Creator, is we want our kids in there using it. It's great that our teachers use it, it's great that we use it, but this is the ultimate goal, is for the kids to get in there and show us what they know. So we have 3 examples here, one from the elementary level, middle school, and high school, and they're all different, but they're all just great examples of how we're using it. So in this case, this one is a research project about Jupiter. And I love the little pictures and videos of Emma in here talking about Jupiter. And I'm going to show you one because it's so cute.
No, it would be way too cold and there's no oxygen or food.
So that's why humans could not live on Jupiter. So Emma let us know about that. So super cute. And that was completely created by her. She's in 3rd grade. That was completely created by her. And then we have a middle school example. They were charged with making a biography for a well-known figure in their language class. What's it called in middle school? I can't remember what the language class is called in middle school, but that's what it was. And so this is a magazine about this gentleman here, created by a middle school student. in English and in Spanish. And then we have a personal narrative by a high school student here. So they actually wrote a book about how being kind doesn't hurt. So it's a fiction story, but it kind of, teaches a lesson in there. So they got to pick the pictures that they wanted and they wrote the book. And it's just a cool, engaging way to do your personal narrative instead of just typing it on a document. So we thought those were good examples of kids as creators.
I love all the multimedia that they used in those examples as well. It really showcases all the different features.
And our up next is we have a great population of multilingual learners in our district. We have a great dual language program that's 50-50 English and Spanish. And so when we're looking at tools to use in the classroom, we really need to find tools that support that learning for our EDs and for all our multilingual learners. So we love all of the language options in the text editor with Book Creator, all the accents. You could do the speech to text with the different languages, things like that. So we have two examples of how our multilingual learners have used this. The first one is a research project where the student did use the speech to text in Spanish. So she was able to speak in Spanish and then it typed for her here about Peru. So this is an example of that. And then over here is a collaboration between a pre-K class and a kindergarten class where the kindergartners wrote the story and the pre-K illustrated the story. And then they recorded a little video. And they were able to share this at their dual language night with the parents to see kind of what they're doing in the class. So we're going to share a few of these here. We have little cute ones.
I will a chemist. I will make a new medicine for sick people.
So she's reading, she's speaking, she wrote that little piece of the story, and then we had our pre-Kers illustrate it there. So this was a great example of how our emergent bilinguals could get in here and create the Book Creator as young as pre-K and kindergarten. Okay, so that's our multilingual learner support kit.
I have to plug in a shameless plug for one of our new features coming out as well. At the end of the month, we actually are releasing a translation feature. So stay tuned for that. It should be coming out any week now. And you're going to be able to translate books and texts in 137 languages. So stay tuned for that. Yes. So coming out, I've been told at the end of the month. So hopefully that the date actually sticks, but hopefully any week now. Yeah, I'm really excited about that.
That's awesome. And that actually leads right into our next, well, right after this one. But we have another use that we see a lot in Book Creator for our district is the use for student portfolios. So this first example was actually an example student portfolio that we did with principals. So we do make sure that our campus administrators get training so that they can see the value in Book Creator. And to answer Catherine's question from earlier, when we see them, like we did this training, and then every single principal that was in this training suddenly had a book that they were using for their next staff meeting. So it was like, every single one of them was like, I can turn this into a book. I can turn this into a book. And so they just ran with it. But this was just a real simple science vocabulary. They had their words and they worked in groups and just used the Frere model. The teacher used this with her students and she created the template. And then the students went in and put the definition, example, sentence, and images that worked for them. That's just a real simple one. This one is a elementary math station book. So they have their little cards that they would normally, you would see these like around the room and the students would travel around and answer each question on a piece of paper. But this teacher put them into Book Creator and you can see she recorded her own voice here of her doing the instructions. So while they could use text to speech, she went ahead and made her own little voice recordings. They answer the problem down the little box, and then you can see she's giving them little feedback stickers as they go. And this was real simple for her to set up because she had these pre-made, so she just pasted the task cards that she would use around her classroom into this little book. And then this one is a cute example of another math workbook. But on this one, I love that he included a little photo of the math that he was doing on paper. So same idea, the teacher had the question, she recorded her own voice here, so they're listening to their teacher read the question out loud, and then they took pictures of the math that they worked out. So portfolios are huge. Like we see that across the district at all grade levels, just different takes on that interactive portfolio notebook.
I love those examples too. It shows like a great example also about how you can create a template and then assign those out to your students, which is one of our recent features that we just released. So the teacher actually becoming the creator and then assigning that out to your students. You can also, I'm sure some of these teachers have created that template and then pushed out pages to the students too. So just know that you can do that in Book Creator as well. So you don't have to, this workbook exactly, you don't have to like send out all the pages at once. You can always send out maybe 2, and then the next week send out the next 3 and so forth. Just know that you are able to do that in Book Creator, which is a really cool feature that you were showing there in the portfolios.
Okay, our next one is what Catherine was talking about, the translation feature coming up, which will be amazing because we have our dual language program that Kim mentioned, and they need equal resources in both English and Spanish. So that was one of our original use cases for Book Creator, was to give our Spanish dual language teachers a platform where they could be the author of those Spanish books because the Spanish book resources weren't available to them to use. So this is one for 3rd grade, I think maybe the math, but credit and interest. So this is a teacher created book for the students on credit and interest, and it explains, they make a copy of this book, they use the template and the text tools to answer questions as they go. It has some star release questions in here, and also like explains what's credit and interest as they go through it. But they also, and these are the answers at the end, so they could check their own work. But she also made this in Spanish. So the identical book translated in Spanish for them. So if they were, because of the way our dual language model is, they will do English one day, Spanish the next. So depending on what day this lesson fell in, the students had an identical resource in both languages. This is a library book that I can't remember. I think it was a Blue Bonnet book. That's not the library book, but they went through and made a corresponding book to go over the vocabulary that was introduced in this book. So they had the students borrow, I think it means, so I think borrow means, and the students went through and filled that in. And then on the next page, it has the definition and a sentence to go along with it. So this was used in a library lesson, and each student had their own little vocabulary book that they did along with the librarian to go with this book. And our last one is another library lesson, and this is one of my favorites. This is a book about taking care of books, and when the librarian did this lesson, she had them reading the book on the screen, kind of how we are right now. And then she also had a printed copy of this book. So as they're going through the book and it says, do we read our library books when we are eating? And so she's asking the students, and while she's reading the paper book to them, she knocked her coffee over and spilled it on her book. And so she was able to show them like what happens when you read your library book while you're eating and drinking, or if we leave our books where the babies or pets can get them, and she ripped it. So it was really cute that they had a little ebook, but then also she printed the copy to demonstrate with them. So those are some examples of lesson resources that our teachers have created. Okay, the next of our top 10 hits is accessibility features.
So it is very important to us, and I'm sure to everyone on here, that students and teachers and everyone have access to the programs and to reading. And so Kim put together a little book about the accessibility features to kind of showcase those, but just a few that are in Book Creator. The first one is text to speech, and it has some options in here, so you can change the speed, you can have it turn the pages for you, or you can turn your own pages, highlight the words, choose the voice that you want. So all of that is within the text to speech settings, and you get to those by just clicking the little gear in the top while you're reading. The next one is adding captions to videos. So if for some reason you're not able to watch the video or see the video, it's not loading, whatever it is, you can grab those captions and see what was going on in there. Speech to text. Kim, I think, hit on this earlier with all the different languages. Her daughter uses these when they're creating their books. They use the speech to text in Spanish. Keyboard navigation is great. We have students who use assistive technology, an assistive mouse, all different things. So they have these options when they're navigating through the books. I especially like the space bar, so you can start and stop read. That's really simple to use. You can also add transcripts to audio recordings. So there's a little recording here. Here's how to make an audio transcript. And then you can click the little comment icon and it opens up that transcript for you. And there are more, but those are the ones that we chose to highlight as our kind of favorites.
I'm going to stick in the chat too a blog post just highlighting all. We have 230 plus accessibility feature improvements. So I'm just going to stick a blog post in the chat if you were wondering additional ones. Those are some of my favorites. They just highlighted as well. But I just threw a blog post in there if you want to continue reading some more too.
We definitely couldn't cover all 230. Pass this over to Sharisa.
All right, next on our list of hits, test prep. And if you are anywhere in the world, your kiddos may be preparing for tests this time or throughout the year. But we are so glad that Book Creator was able to create a book specifically for our Texas school districts. And so we decided to highlight the STAR testing book that was created. And we're going to highlight some of those features in there. And, you know, we like to think about Book Creator being used all the time, not just during testing, but sometimes you need specific ideas that are created for kids to get practice with the different types of tests. And probably, like I said, around the world, those testing features are now all online. So we have online testing and accommodation, some of which they just talked about, new question types, cross-curricular passages, and evidence-based writing in this great book. And we're going to highlight just a few that we love. The PDF import. So if you've got a PDF that you want to upload for kids to interact with, Book Creator has made that so easy for teachers and students to use. So all of those paper worksheets that you have, you can load those right into Book Creator. Recording. So for kids being able to hear what their teacher is saying and being able to work independently. That's something that we're seeing now in, during testing, that kids need to be able to hear the recording of what is there in the text. Also, being able to use the text box. So I know probably for a lot of people, small students being able to type has really kind of alarmed some people, but being able to use Book Creator on a usual basis and kids being able to practice their typing inside the text box is always great practice, whether they're testing or not. Also being able to use the pen tool for hotspot questions, giving them the choices of, whether they want to use a highlighter or a pen. Those kinds of activities give students navigation practice where they are practicing the tools that are on the screen. Being able to use shapes, multi-selecting different questions that have a variety of different answers. Graphic organizers, we're going to talk about that one in just a second. And then students being able to collaborate in different books and work together is always a great highlight, whether you're testing or not. Okay, so that book, Catherine probably can add that book in the chat somewhere, but that book is in the Discovery Library as well. This is one created by one of our specialists for 2nd and 3rd grade speaking and writing practice. And so what she was able to do here was specifically tailor this book so that students had visuals, they had the text there. She also added in the audio and then had them work through the first, then after that, and then finally for them to practice their typing skills within the book. What I really love that she did here in the book is that you'll see on the next page, it's the same concept, but she switched it up just a little bit. And she put the pictures on the right and the text here. And it's the same kind of concept, but students are able to see visually that it doesn't matter where the items are on their computers, they'll still know how to navigate all of those different features. All right, Catherine, thank you so much for putting that in the chat.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, and now graphic organizers, one of the newer features that we are loving. And you can find those graphic organizers by going to the More tool, and it's the very first one at the top. And I'll just show you. But creators made it super easy for everybody to add those graphic organizers. So once you have access to the graphic organizers, there are over 100 different graphic organizers that are in there that cover all of the different content areas. But we just pulled out a few that we thought would be really good for people to see. The nice thing about these is that they're like templates. So you can click on them and edit them very simply. So this All About Me would be a great one for the beginning of the school year, or as you're ending the school year, everybody's kind of coming to an end. A character map where students can add their text. The sentence stems are already kind of created. So if you wanted to add to or take away, you could totally do that. Thinking about your thinking, it's just a different style of a template there, but you could, like I said, add or take away any of those sentence stems there, change the colors if you wanted to, change the background. You've got a roller coaster story plot that could be used for any grade level. And you've got maybe for your secondary students, claim, evidence, and reasoning as an example. There are lots of different web designed templates there as well, graphic organizers. And that was very, very simple to put together. And so thank you, Book Creator, for that.
And just to let plug in for the graphic organizers as well, we do have some free graphic organizers. A lot of them are on the paid version. So when you are looking at them, you'll notice a lot of them do say premium. But we do have some free ones. So just look at the ones that do not have a crown on them. And those are the free ones. So if you are on the free plan, know that you can still use the graphic organizers. Just look at the ones that don't have the little crown on them.
Perfect, thank you. And next we're going to talk about the Remix It. We love this feature because for a while we had to just share our books through a link, and then you kind of had to create your own. But now the creator has added the remix button, so I can send my team a book and then they can remix it and make it for their own students and tailor it for their own classroom. So that's really nice. So here's an example of one of the comprehension books that Book Creator has in their library there. And you'll notice this button here. If I click Remix, now I can add that book to any of my libraries that I have. And then I can tailor it to my students, which is amazing. And while I'm here in this comprehension book, I'll just kind of show you a couple of different things that Book Creator has added to this book that then I can go in and edit for my students or take away pages. But that is kind of the magic of Remix, being able to edit for yourself. Is there another one? So I know we've talked about reading language arts. We showed you a math book, but some of the beauty of Book Creator has also been being able to introduce this into some of your specials classes, your choir, your music, your art. And so this is a book that we thought we'd highlight, Elements of Music. So if there are any music teachers out there, you may enjoy kind of perusing through some of the discovery books that are out there. And this one is totally remixable because I've got my remix button there. And then lastly, I can click my remix button if I want to again and choose the library that I want it to go into. And this one is a daily reading writing response. But notice that these are beautifully made. So if you have a great teacher on your team that creates great books and likes to add things, then have that person turn that remix button on and share with your students.
And it looks like you might have created that one.
Yes. Well,
that one looks beautifully done.
What's that?
I said that one looks beautifully done.
I got that one out of the library, Catherine.
Oh, really? Oh, I saw your name on it. I was like, that one looks beautifully done.
I remixed it.
Remixed it.
I remixed it. So it made it mine.
You made it. That's the beauty of it. I always say you can steal them and then make them your own. So I love remixing it too. Yeah.
So much better not to have to start from scratch every time. Like
yes.
If you get ideas or someone already made something perfect, why reinvent the wheel? Just remix it.
Exactly. And you can share, just like Krista was saying, you can share it with your grade level teams. It saves so much time. So I highly recommend using that remix button.
That's the beauty of education, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then Catherine didn't know, but she's highlighted in our book here. So showing it off, we've had some great experiences with students wanting to share their books. And, we are believers in students being able to do that and creating time and space. So Catherine was nice enough to visit some classrooms where students were able to share their books. And Jen is also featured in this book as well. And then you'll also see one of our teachers here. She was super excited that of all the different features and what her students were able to produce. This was a first grade teacher who was getting ready to retire, and she was just elated at the ease of Book Creator. If you have teachers, or if you're a teacher who has not taken the Book Creator course, we encourage you to do that. It is very, very simple and easy to use, but if you've got teachers, highlight those teachers, print them off a certificate, have them hang it in front of their doorway. we created, Catherine was a part of kind of a book creator book tour that allowed some of our district level staff to go to different rooms and to highlight teachers and students, and the students just love being able to talk about their books over and over and over. So that is always a great idea. And I think Kim mentioned earlier about being able to showcase during family night what students are being able to produce in Book Creator. And then we've even had some students sit down and then create family books while their families are there. So that's been really cool to see. And then, you know, not only are students creating books, but teachers are as well. And that is the beauty of Book Creator.
I think our usage is increasing because of the ease of use. Over the years, I have to track that data and turn it in to our executive director for usage for our programs. And it's one that has increased drastically over the years. When I was looking back at it this year, and part of that is because of the ease of use, but also all the resources that Book Creator has created for our teachers. We do provide training for our teachers, but there are so many resources that are available for teachers to simply go in and be able to access it very quickly. And I think that makes a huge difference. The webinars, the fact that Book Creator has been available to come to our conferences and present for our teachers, or just offer trainings before and after school, has made a real big difference, in my opinion, in how high our usage is across the district. And it's become one of our core resources. We haven't had it very long, but at the end of last year, we had a committee that went back to campuses to ask their teachers what would be your top resources, and Book Creator, like our top 3 book creators in our top 3. So I think it's the ease of use that has that has definitely made that in such a short period of time, compared to how long we've had other resources, has truly made it a district favorite and a resource that they feel that they couldn't do without.
Well, that makes us really happy to hear. Well, thank you all for sharing your top 10 hits. I hope that inspires everyone else. I know that inspired me, seeing all of those amazing examples, especially some of the student examples and obviously the teacher examples as well. I know we have a lot of thank yous in the chat. So I hope that shows how thankful people are about you sharing your experience. Are there any questions? I know we can't unmute ourselves, but you can ask questions in the chat. Do we have any questions for the new Caney team? If
No.
not,
I saw one earlier, Catherine.
oh yes,
About seeing the kindergarten PK book again.
oh yeah. You want to throw that in the chat? And then if you want to share, do you mind sharing your book in the chat as well?
Yes.
If that's okay. I don't know if you're okay with sharing the examples. Completely fine if not.
One of the questions was, can we share examples with the parents? Was that one of the questions?
I think it was.
Via email.
Yes. Yes, you can. You can grab a link, and you can grab a link to the book to share that with parents. In our district, they cannot. Students cannot email parents outside of our district because they're in a walled garden, and that means that they can only send and receive emails from anyone inside of New Caney ISD. However, Canvas is our LMS. And so a student, a teacher could make work available in a student's link in there. There are different ways that teachers can post that, but for us, it wouldn't be email. But yes, if your students can email to people outside of your district domains, that is an option.
Or the teachers could send the email.
Yeah.
You can see on the screen now where you can download a QR code for that book. So we do see some of that, like they'll print a little QR code and the student can take it home in their folder.
And our teachers can highlight they all send home a SMORE newsletter. They also we have Remind in our district. And so they send out information via Remind, or highlight different things in their newsletter. So there's multiple ways that teachers could share the link to the book.
Yes.
I meant how can teachers share students?
Yeah, teachers can share either the link or the QR code, however.
Either one of those, the teacher can do that way.
And then Leo, if you want to I just put my email in the chat. If you want to just shoot me an email with the details, I can email you back about the conference. Any other questions? I know how do you make a QR code? Here, let me just share my screen really quickly. Let's see here. Okay. If I have the right one up. Where is my, oh, there it is. Okay. Here we go. Okay, to do a QR code, first what you need to do is publish a book. So here's my book. So once you create a book, you're going to publish the link. So you have to publish the book online first to get the QR code. Once this is published online, you'll notice that there's an option right here to get the QR code. Just click QR code right here, and then you'll be able to print the QR code. You can also get it once you just click on read online right here. And this is what they were showing you earlier at the top right-hand side. There are 3 dots. If you click on the 3 dots right up here, you'll also be able to download QR code, and that's where you can print those QR codes as well. Okay. No problem. I just wanted to make one quick plug. I know we were talking about at the end, I know our last thing was showing student work and just publishing student work. It is Be an Author Month this month, and it's just celebrating just that. And it's celebrating student writing, showcasing their writing and sharing it, and really sharing it to the world for them to see it. We do have a project going on this month called the TWEMA project. I'm going to throw the information in the chat really quick. Let me put the website to go to Be an Author Month, and you can learn more about it. The TWEMA project stands for The World is My Audience, and the project is it's going to be max 6 pages. The focus is for students to tell about who they are. So max 6 pages in Book Creator. We encourage them to use multimedia. And if you scroll down on this web page, you'll see that there's the site right here that says The World is My Audience, and it says Take Part. You can just click on Take Part right here, and it will talk about what we want them to include in their stories. There's a little video you can watch too from John Smith, another teacher success manager. Here are all the details about how it works. And then you can submit your book right here. You need to have the teacher submit the book though. It's not going to have the student submit the book or they won't count. What we're going to do is we're making a world collaborative book. So all the books that get submitted, we're going to make a collaborative book of all of them and publish that book. We're going to invite some of the students and their teachers to a webinar next month. and invite them to tell their stories, to actually read their book on the webinar to tell their story. So if you'd like to take part, just check out that webpage I threw in the chat. Remember, it's 6 pages long, or 6 pages maximum, and it's due on the 31st. So hopefully we have some of your students participate, and it's really celebrating writing, celebrating their stories, and practicing that publishing piece of being an author. All right. Any last questions? Otherwise, I want to thank New Caney ISD for joining us. We really thank you, and you're definitely an inspiration for all of us. But thanks so much for joining. And once again, I love your outfits. Bye, everyone.
Oh, Catherine, there was one question.
Oh, I'd like to. Oh, yes. Where can I register for the course for Book Creator? For the course for Book Creator, are you talking about the certification course? Yes. Okay, the certification course. Let me share my screen one more time. Certification course, when you're in your account, if you are in your account, just click on the 3 lines in a library. And when you get to your teacher dashboard, you'll notice that there's a certification tab. Click on that certification tab, and that's where you'll find the course that's completely self-paced. But you need to sign into your account to find that. Okay, yeah, no problem. All right, thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.